Then he said, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it is in heaven. That's good news, brothers and sisters.
Glory to God. Hey, to the only God, our Savior, majesty, dominion, power, forever, and ever, and ever.
Praise the Most High God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and peace to everybody in the name of Jesus. We have a lot of people out there that, you know, when they go to churches, the first issue that they kind of utilize when they are in the church sitting in those seats is that they go by what they see, and a lot of times they go by what they hear. But they don't pay attention to the things that are being taught. They focus on the pastor and what he's dressed like. They focus on the choir and what they sound like. You know, they even listen to the preacher on how he speaks, but not what he speaks. And if you focus on some things like in Isaiah 20, it'll show you like in situations where Isaiah was walking around naked for 3 years prophesying to the Lord. So now imagine this preacher that's not dressed down in an extravagant suit, that's walking around preaching to you naked, trying to tell you what thus saith the Lord. Most people wouldn't be able to perceive it. Most people would not be able to accept it. But yet, that's not one of the things that you need to be focused on. And that's one of the main reasons why the Lord put Isaiah out there on the front street like that. So now, one thing you need to mainly focus on is what is being preached out of the Bible. Okay? So now, that's why I have titled this lesson, those who have ears to hear and those who have eyes to see, let them. Because 9 times out of 10, a person could be out there, and Jesus warned us of this thing, that people can be out there preaching Jesus and be deceiving many. So we're going to start off in this lesson in Matthew 24. We're going to start off in Matthew 24 because, again, you know, in this situation, the disciples was asking Jesus, how do we get, when would the time of the end be? And what would be the sign of his coming? So we're going to read about this thing. We're going to start at verse 3. And when you get there, go ahead.
And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, tell us, when shall these things be, and what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, take heed that no man deceive you.
So first thing that he tell you, that was one of the first things that he tell you, is take heed that no man deceive you. Men have been deceived from the beginning. You go all the way back into Genesis. In Genesis, we were seeing how Adam and Eve was being deceived. And Satan's main thing that he do is that he'll have you doing the total opposite of what God tell you to do. For example, like your Sabbath day. You look on your calendar, you see the day that you worship, which is 9 times out of 10, most people in these churches are worshiping on a Sunday, which is the first day of the week. Well, we are in the 10 Commandments, the Lord order you to worship on the 7th day, which is the total opposite. So we need to pay attention to that. If these preachers are preaching on a Sunday, the first day of the week, which is the total opposite of what God asked you to do, then you have to pay attention to the fact that you are being deceived. Listen to this thing and watch for this thing. Right. Those who have ears to hear and eyes to see, let them see. Do not be deceived by this thing. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 5. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
So now, from the beginning of time, from the time that Jesus died, all the way up until now, we have been going through wars. We have been having people running around preaching Christ. Christ is the Lord. Christ this, Christ that. But yet they have been deceiving them, having them worshiping idols. I mean, you go into every church that you find, even a Baptist church, you will find an idol inside of that church. But we're not going to go there. We're going to still focus on the things that we need to focus on, and that's this word. Go ahead, read.
Verse 7. For a nation shall rise against nation, and kingdoms against kingdoms, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrow.
All these are the beginning of sorrows. So now you look at this situation abroad. We have the earthquake in Haiti. A couple of years ago, we had hurricanes. Within the midst of those years, before, after the hurricanes, before even the earthquake, we had many tornadoes going through America alone. You know, we just had tornadoes just going abroad, just hitting the Midwestern area. So we have these things, and then we have the famines. You know, people being hungered, you know, because of, you know, things like mad cow disease, the swine flu. You know, you have all these diseases that's gradually coming abroad, and things are getting totally worse. The worst things are getting because of the fact that men are not considering the truth and what's written in this Bible. And he's saying these are the beginning of sorrows. But then yet also people are destroying the people who are preaching the truth, because 9 times out of 10 you have people that are so wicked to the point to where they don't even want to hear the truth. They're comfortable doing what is in their heart. But that's one of the things that Jesus was even talking about during his time. Turn to Matthew 23, and we're going to read about that also. Matthew 23, and start at verse 29.
Woe unto you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites!
Why would he say woe to you? Because there's trouble coming to you, scribes, Pharisees, hypocrites, or you preachers, you prophets, you apostles, you know, which is what they call themselves nowadays. He's saying woe unto you. Why?
Because ye build the tombs of the prophets and garnish the sepulchres of the righteous, and say, if we had been in the days of our fathers, we would have not been partakers with them in the blood of the prophets.
All of these preachers are claiming to be holy. All of them are claiming to be righteous. But once you open up that Bible and you sell to them the truth, and you tell them, look, the Sabbath day is on the 7th day. Why are you not doing this on the Sabbath day? On the real day, on the 7th day, and they get tripped up on that thing, then you ought to know. But then yet they would say that, you know, they're so righteous, and if they was in those days, and that they wouldn't be sinning against the Lord, but yet they are sinning against the Lord right now in front of your face, and you all are not seeing this thing. You all are not hearing this thing. Go ahead, brother.
Verse 31. Wherefore ye be witnesses unto yourselves that ye are the children of them which killed the prophets.
And they killed the prophets. So just think, when the 2 witnesses come in the latter days and they kill those 2 guys. Or how about when the Lord's saints, when they make war against the Lord's saints in those latter days and they start killing those off because they're out there teaching the truth. You would not be exempt. We would not be exempt. Turn to Matthew 13. Go to Matthew 13. Because Jesus gave a parable. Jesus gave a parable about the wheat and tares, where a sower had sowed some seeds to grow wheat, and the enemy came by and threw in some seeds that grew tares in the midst of those seeds. And when he sent out his one of his workers to go and check out this thing, he saw that the tares were growing within the wheat, and he told him, just leave it alone. We'll deal with this at the end of harvest. So Jesus started